There's a version of you that's walking in her full potential, and she's not far away. She's not unreachable. She's just waiting on you to decide. Welcome to Heavenly Essentials, where purpose meets peace and faith fuels everything we do. I know what it feels like to be in transition, to feel called to something more, but unsure of what the next step is. To know God is stirring something in your spirit, but everything around you still looks unclear. That moment between comfort and calling, it's uncomfortable, but it's sacred. And I want to speak to that woman standing right there. You are not behind, you are not late, and you are definitely not disqualified. There's a purpose on your life, and no amount of fear, delay, or doubt can cancel what God has already assigned. But here's the truth. Purpose is not loud. It does not force itself on you. It waits to be chosen. And most of the time, it requires you to choose it in faith, not in full understanding. I used to think walking in purpose meant having it all figured out. I thought it would come with a clear path, a step-by-step strategy, or even from a big voice in the sky telling me, go this way or go that way. But purpose doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. And sometimes it's revealed in the very act of showing up. When I had a quiet nudge, when I first started my journey, I didn't have perfect clarity. What I had was a quiet nudge, a deep knowing. It was definitely a deep knowing that was always in the back of my head, just telling me, this is what's going to get you to where you want to be. So it was a quiet nudge, a deep knowing, and the decision to say yes, even while afraid. Fear used to run my life. I was afraid of being seen, afraid of messing up, afraid of being misunderstood, and afraid of making the wrong decision. And that's maybe where you are now, living more from your fear than from your faith. But let me remind you of something. Fear is not the voice of truth. It's the voice of delay. It convinces you to hold back from the very thing that you were made to do. But purpose moves through courage. Purpose moves through obedience. Purpose doesn't wait for perfection. It starts with surrendering. Sometimes it's the most spiritual thing you can do is take the next step. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is take the next step without overthinking, without waiting for signs, just trusting God enough to move. And I get it. We've been conditioned to hustle, to plan out everything, to make sure it looks good before we say yes. But kingdom purpose doesn't always come with aesthetics first. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's uncomfortable, but it's always worth it. There's something sacred about choosing obedience before outcome. It's where the breakthrough lives. It's where peace starts to meet you. Purpose isn't found in striving. It's found in surrendering. When you start giving God your mornings, your yeses, your dreams, He multiplies what you offer. He doesn't need your perfection. He needs your availability. Let me ask you something. I want you to think about something. What have you been holding back on because fear told you you're not ready? What idea, what message, what move is still sitting on your heart, waiting for permission. Today, give it that permission. Not because you have all the answers, but because you know who's leading you. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. That means you're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're just supposed to say yes and take the next right step. And when you do that, when you walk, even while afraid, you grow, you stretch, you evolve. You step into the person you've always been underneath the fear. This is your invitation. This is your invitation to step out of your comfort zone, to stop second guessing your value, to stop waiting until you feel ready, whatever that means, and to start living like your purpose is now, not later, because it is. Purpose is not a decision. It's how you live. It's how you think. It's how you serve. It's how you carry your calling in the beautiful, quiet moments, not just the chaotic public ones. You don't need a platform to walk in purpose. You don't need a title. You don't need permission from people who never saw your vision in the first place. You already have divine permission. So today, I want you to choose. Will you stay stuck in fear? Or will you do what's already been assigned? Will you step into that? Will you step into what's already been assigned? You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be flashy. You just have to be faithful. Faithful to the whispers. Faithful to your healing. Faithful to your process. And faithful to your voice, even if it shakes. God will honor your obedience. This is your season to return to yourself, to walk in purpose without apology, to rebuild with peace, and to remember you don't have to chase what's already yours. You have become the version of you have become the version of you that's willing to receive it. And that journey starts now. If this spoke to you, I'd love for you to subscribe and join this space. This is for anyone who's ready to walk in purpose with peace and presence. You are seen, you are chosen, you are called.